Hello, welcome to FloralMoonTarot. Today's video is all about intuition versus our ego. So how do you know what is your intuition, like how your intuition speaks to you, and then how you know when your ego is coming through so that you can like just move through life a little easier, just like kind of trusting in yourself and knowing the difference. If you're just coming from YouTube and you need to pick a pile, these are the two options. On the left, we have pile 1, and on the right, we have pile 2. So this is the unveiled tarot deck, and then this is the Santa Muerte. So you can choose from there. But once you're ready, take as much time as you need, and then the timestamps are below, and you can go straight to your pile. See you there. Hello, my pile ones. Welcome to the extended for your reading about your intuition versus your ego. I'm just putting on my clarity oil so that I get clear and concise messages from the cards. Now, if you're coming just from YouTube and you haven't seen the TikTok, you can either go on through the link in my bio and just go to my TikTok and watch the first few minutes of the reading, what we talked about, or I will do a brief little recap right now. So basically, this reading is all about your intuition versus your ego. So how can you tell the difference between what is what? When your ego is coming through, what exactly might you do? What are your tendencies when it's your ego / your shadow, whatever you want to call it? And remember that your ego is not inherently bad, okay? It's just that your ego gets afraid of change because it makes you think that it's in danger, because your ego stems from fears, any negative emotions, or experiences that you've had in the past that are now sitting with you in your subconscious. And it begins to identify with that. You begin to identify with that. So if you make a change in some kind of way, whether it's your mindset, whether it's something on the outside of you, whatever it is that has to do with you and your life, your ego begins to think oh no, we're losing a part of ourselves. I don't want that to happen. I don't want change because I don't want death for me. It sounds really ridiculous, but at the end of the day, we all probably have an inherent fear of death, and it comes out in ways that you don't even really realize. But at the end of the day, when you identify as yourself from all the things that happened to you in your past up into your present point, as soon as you lose something or as soon as you change something, it quite literally feels like you're going through death or that's the end, but that that's not the end of your life, because that you hopefully will have tomorrow and whatever, but your ego does not understand that. So it's an interesting way, the way that it works. And I decided to do this reading because I'm reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I feel like he really, really explains this really well. I'm trying to give just a brief thing of it, just so you understand what the reading is even about. But if you're truly looking for change spiritually and in your and to be able to make changes in your life, I think this is really important. So, but yeah, so let's get started. That was also just an intro for even if you didn't choose pile 1, just so you understand, because I don't want to explain it twice, because I don't know if I'm really good at explaining it. So, but all right, for my pile 1s, welcome. Pile 2, you can always just skip straight to your pile if you would like. If you don't want to watch both, you can watch both if you feel called to watch both. Totally up to you. I will show you the deck just in case you didn't come from TikTok and you didn't have the choice. But this is the deck for pile 1, if you would like to do this one. And this is the deck for pile 2, if you would like to choose that one. So go on, you can pause if you need, take some time, meditate, whatever, but I'll see you at whichever reading or both if you choose. Okay, so for my pile 1s, if you're just coming from YouTube, quick recap. So far we have your ego. When your ego comes through, which is all of these reverse cards that came out, and then all of the cards that come out upright will be, that's your intuition. So for your ego, you have quite a few that came out. It's things that want you to stay stagnant. It can come out in laziness. It can come out in fear. I use for an example, like, let's say that you want to go to Japan, but you would feel way more comfortable going somewhere where you can understand the language, because you don't really want to have a language barrier, because the idea of being lost in a foreign city with no way to communicate with people to help you move around terrifies you. And instead of you being like, okay, I'm going to plan this trip for next year, and in the next year, I'm going to work on just like learning the basics of Japanese, just like, basic, like, hello, goodbye, can you help me find this? Can I order this? Like, things that you're going to need on a daily basis. Instead of you just like practicing on Duolingo or whatever the hell you want to do, you decide, forget it. Like, I'm just not going to go. It's just easier if I just don't go. Or it'll just be easier if I just go with someone who's already been to Japan, or someone that speaks Japanese that I'm friends with, and like, they can just like be my tour guide and I don't have to worry about anything. But then that's going to require you to either wait until you meet someone like that, and or wait until the person that you do know like that has the time to actually go to Japan or something like that. You guys will have to align your schedules and like do all this, like, or you're just not going to go at all. Like, and it's just like, that's your ego coming through, because it's like you have the opportunity to try something new, to go do something new yourself, and yet you are keeping yourself stagnant because you are too, in a way, lazy and scared to just do something different. Okay, so that was just an example, but that is like the main gist of how your ego tends to work for you. Also, if you feel like you have trouble making a solid decision about something, of course, we have plenty of times where we need to make decisions, and it's not the easiest decision to make, and you need to sleep on it, and you need to have a few days or even a week or two or something like that to decide. But if you find yourself trying to decide something and you literally just keep flip-flopping, or you keep adding new options, and then now you have 7 options and you don't know what to do, like, that is your ego just trying to make you think that you're doing something, but realistically you're not, because you're not actually deciding on something. So you're not actually doing anything. It wants to keep you in the crossroad, really, of like making a decision. It kind of keeps you in like liminal space. If you ever feel like you are stuck, lost, you don't know what to do, like whatever, but then you also find that you are not actually trying to move in a certain direction, or at least find another direction, then that is like your ego coming through. Because once again, your ego does not want change. It thinks that with change is death, and that's not the truth, obviously, but unfortunately that's just how our brains think for some strange reason. But yeah, the other thing was you had the Ten of Wands here reversed, and on this particular deck, I'm not sure if you can see, but it's like ants, and they're carrying food back to their anthill, and in the middle is a picture of like you, quote unquote, and you're holding the 10 wands. And it was just making me think like, that is, if you're focused on doing something that keeps you in line with everyone and everything around you, and you don't want to step out of line, that makes you nervous or it scares you, and so you would rather just stay where you are and just do what you're told, or just do what everyone else is doing around you, because that just seems like the easier option. That's your ego, because it's too afraid. You're too afraid, because the ego is you. I don't think, I'm trying to work on not separating myself and my other parts of myself, well, all myself, so I'm also trying to do that when I speak to you guys through these readings, because I don't want you to be separating yourselves, because I think it makes things a little more difficult. You should never think of yourself as separate from your consciousness, you know? But anyway, that's just the ego, like, not wanting to step out of line and be different and things like that. Because once again, being different is going to probably ensure change if you're going to be different than everyone around you. Now for your intuition part, which we have to get more cards, but for your intuition, we have the Lovers and we have the Four of Wands. So anything that makes you inherently just feel good on the inside, that is probably your intuition. I feel like the way that it comes through for you is just like, you have to take time to like be quiet and actually just listen to your thoughts and listen to your body, like, and just like when you feel good doing something, let's say you like start working out and like you're like, I don't know if I'm into this, but like every time after you work out, even though you were tired during it, like afterwards you feel euphoric. Like something about it just makes you feel euphoric because you're just like, wow, I did that workout. It was hard as hell, but I did it and I feel amazing. And maybe like I'm actually going to like have change and like be healthy, and maybe it'll show like my body differently and like things like that. Like when you feel that inner feeling, like that is your intuition like telling you to continue to do that or like go in that direction, whatever. And especially with like the Four of Wands, I mean, this is like literally all about like they live their truths within each other together, and that's why the marriage works. That's why they just have a positive relationship, really. And for it to be the Lovers and the Four of Wands is like really nice. All right, so I'm just gonna pull some more cards to see more about how your intuition comes through. If I get any more reversals, I'm just not gonna take them. I think this one's going to be okay. We have the Knight of Cups. Exactly. Feeling is very important for you. Seven of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Feeling is very, very important for you. When you feel like overjoyed, or just like I don't want to say over emotion in general, because I'm not necessarily sure if it's gonna be also negative emotion. Well, actually, yes, I'm gonna say that. So if there's a situation that you're like thinking about change in the future, whatever, and something makes you feel really excited, something makes you feel really happy, very positive energies, like whenever you're thinking about the outcome, like you're like, this, I can feel that this is going to be great, that is your intuition telling you like, yes, move in that direction. Now on the other hand, if there's something that, and I think I use this also in the TikTok, if you're like in a job and like you feel horrible, like every day, like just waking up knowing that you have to go to this job makes you feel so defeated in life, like you don't even want to do anything, like you just like literally just like it just takes over your whole body, like feeling wise, like you're just like, I can't do this, I hate my job so much, you know. Like if you just have like really deep feelings, I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second. When I used to work at a certain place, I won't say a name, but like I had months where I was like, every day when I drove there, I was crying. Like I could not contain how much I did not want to go to that fucking place. Like I would sob on my way to work, and I let it go on for a little bit, and then I finally was like, I can't fucking do this, and then I quit. Now I'm not saying you should quit, but I was so overly emotional. I don't cry like anymore on a regular basis. So it was clear to me that like I just was feeling an over emotion of sadness and anger, because that was my intuition telling me, baby doll, this is not for you. Leave. Like leave. And for me, at the time I was able to just leave without like having another job lined up. Obviously, if this is specific to you, this is just an example, but if you happen to be in the situation and if you need money, please don't just quit your job with no, backup, but just know that like whenever you are feeling deeply like that, whether it's positive or negative emotions, that's your intuition telling you whether or not, yes, move in this direction, or like, yes, you need to change this. So it's going to be kind of weird, but just remember that like when something makes you feel stagnant, makes you feel like you're being lazy, you feel like you have too many options in a bad way to the point where you're staying still, that is your ego. Just because you're feeling sad and angry or negative emotions, a lot of negative emotions, does not mean that that's your ego. It means that your intuition is telling you that something there needs to change. So if you're around people, for example, another example, and you feel like every time you hang out with them, you feel pretty shitty after, or like you just have problems with them, like that's your intuition being like, stop hanging out with them. You get what I'm saying? But then on the other hand, your ego might come through and be like, yeah, but you don't want to like not get invited anywhere, or you don't want to like not have friends anymore, right? So like we should just like keep hanging out with them, but that's your ego trying to keep you stagnant, trying to keep you in line with what you've been doing this whole time. So that is where the ego comes in, where you have to be like, no, I don't care if I'm not going to get invited. I would rather not be invited than hang out with people that don't give a fuck about me or make me feel like shit or whatever the case may be. Right? So like that's why I think it's important to know how both work so that you can see where your intuition is telling you to move and then see where your ego is trying to get you to stay. That way you can negate it and then continue to move anyway. Now that we got that done, I was gonna pull some oracle cards, but honestly, the messages are so clear, I don't even think I need to. But I'm going to pull some just to see what comes out. Hold on. I think my doorbell's ringing. Okay, sorry. My niece came home and she rang the doorbell 10,000 times. And I was like, what is that sound? Anyway, so for you to move past your ego, I pulled a card and you got leap of faith. Follow your intuition and take that courageous leap of faith. So as long as you can clock when your ego is coming through and when it is just the fear and the negative emotions that want you to stay stagnant, like you have to be able to understand, this is just my ego and my intuition is telling me to do something and I have to just do it. I have to just do it. Even though it's going to be scary and even though my ego is not going to be fucking happy with, like a part of me is like going to feel scared and nervous, you have to be able to just like comfort yourself and just be like, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do the leap of faith, because that's how the intuition works, really. You have to just like trust it, because it's you, you have to just trust your own feeling. If you can't trust your own feelings, then like how can you trust anything? That's always how I think, because sometimes I feel weird about my faith, I guess, because I was raised one way and I was like atheist for a while, and then I started to learn about different religions and things like that, and I've just ended up where I've ended up with my beliefs. And every now and then I'm like, damn, like I don't know. And then I think about it and I'm like, but all the experiences that I've had that are singular to me, how can I not believe anything when like I literally experience it myself? Not just things happening in my world, but also like inner, like dreams that I've had, or just any kind of experience that I've had. Just like looking back at my life, like I'm just like, I can't not believe it, because it's just like I've experienced it myself. So That's really where I feel like your intuition comes in, and you have to just be able to trust it, because you have to be able to trust yourself. That's really what it is, trusting yourself. Um Divine timing. Everything unfolds in its time. Trust the universe's timing. I feel like there's just a lot here about trust. Just being able to like trust yourself, trust that when you have a certain idea or you want to move in a certain way at a certain time, trust that like it's happening at that time for a reason. If you lost your job at a certain time, maybe it was because it was time for you to leave and the universe is giving you the opportunity to like be unemployed and get money for a little bit while you figure shit out. Or, like maybe you broke up with someone and you had a breakup, which sucks, but you had it, and then literally a month later you meet like a new friend group, or you meet someone and you feel like you can. And I know maybe like a month for like a relationship is like whatever, but who cares about time, honestly? Like whatever, no judgment. But like let's just say, you meet someone a couple months later and you're like, wow, we can like have like a really nice relationship, and it's just like you would have never met them if you were still with the other person or the other people. So, and then we have balance and harmony. Inner balance amplifies intuition. Stay in harmony with yourself. So I think it's just very important for you to just like know yourself and know when your intuition is coming through, when your ego is coming through, and be able to like exclude the people, the things, the situations around you, and just listen to yourself. Because the more you are out of balance with yourself, the more you're going to fall into thinking that your ego is your intuition. Okay, and lastly, we have flow of life. Surrender to life's natural flow. Trust where it takes you. I mean, this is all very just like reiterating, like just literally follow yourself, follow your intuition, follow your feelings. I feel like you have the feelings, and I think you just like get worried that you're wrong, but you're not. You'll know it's your ego when it's something that's halting, when it's something that stops you from doing things out of laziness or out of just like not wanting to be different or something like that. But like it'll literally keep you stagnant. That is when it's your ego. Okay. And let's just get some self. I forgot the name of these cards, I'm not gonna lie. Your reading was very clear. I feel like this is really just confirmation for you. I think you knew all these things already. You had an idea. Look for fairies. Maybe you're on tune with the fae. Maybe you like being in nature. Maybe that helps you clear your head. Taking a walk in nature. Whoa. That was like a lot of cards, so I'm gonna put these back and try again. I just want like 2 more for you, my pile ones, for some self-care. Alright. You just have a lot. So you literally got 4 cards again, so I'm just gonna take them. First we have hydrate. Then we have massage. Sync with the moon and dream journal. Okay, so for you to balance yourself, when we had like balance and harmony here, any one of these things might be really good for you. Massages might help because it might help you move your energy, like have your energy flow through your body, through your chakras. Yoga might help as well, help you feel more balanced. Make sure you stay hydrated. Water is literally our life force. Sync with the moon is interesting because I think I mentioned dreams before, but your dreams might tell you, like, they might help you understand your intuition and or your ego. If you have a lot of nightmares, that's because you're not listening. That's something I read in my dream book, and it talks about how nightmares are basically just like your subconscious is like trying to get you to pay attention to something happening in your life, and you keep ignoring it. So it sends a nightmare instead, because a lot of people remember nightmares more than they remember their regular dreams because it's scary. And people usually remember their fearful dreams and they remember that feeling. So if you have a lot of nightmares, that's probably why. So pay attention to your dreams. I think they're very important. And even if you're not having nightmares, pay attention to your dreams, because it's definitely your subconscious, your intuition showing you, like, hey, maybe this is the direction you should go in. If you have a lot of dreams of, like, this is just an example again, but like you're in a car but you're not driving, that means like you feel like you're not in control of your own life. Things like that. Pay attention to who is in your dreams. You can learn a lot from your dreams. They're not random. I don't think they are, personally. Maybe you do, but whatever. And then we have sync with the moon, which, so one, I feel like that makes sense with just like dreams in general. And then two, I think that maybe you being in sync with the moon will really help you be more present, because the moon cycle happens every month. And if you take the time each month to be like, this is like something that I need to rid myself of because it's keeping me stagnant. And so I'm going to work on bringing something in for the month. Like maybe you just focus on one thing. That's fine. You know, you don't have to like try to bring in 10,000 things in one time, like whatever. But just being able to like make a routine out of it, I feel like will help you stay balanced and stay harmonized with yourself, because you're checking in every month at least, you know? So yeah. All right, that's what I have for you, Pile One. You had a very, very clear reading. I hope that you learned something and got something out of this. Thanks for being here, truly. If you like this reading and you feel like it helped you, please, like it. Leave a comment as well. I like to read the comments and like talk to y'all. But I'll see you in the next reading on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok if you just came from YouTube, and maybe you want to see some readings on TikTok as well. But thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my pile twos. Welcome to the extended for your reading for Intuition versus Ego. If you're coming straight from YouTube, hello. I will give a brief reiteration of what we talked about on TikTok. If you're just coming from TikTok, hey y'all, just give me a minute. I just gotta update them, okay? Okay, so we're talking about ego versus intuition. Your ego doesn't want you to. Now remember, your ego is yourself, so I'm gonna try not to separate it. But the ego doesn't want change because it associates change with death. The way that time works is linear for us, and everything that happens to us in the past is what we think makes up ourselves in the present. But that's not necessarily the case, because if that's the case, you're always just going to live by how things were in the past. But the present might be different from the past. You might be different from the past. You know, you get what I'm saying? Catch my drift? So, that being said, the ego cannot identify that, like, just because something in your life changes, it doesn't understand that it doesn't mean that your sense of self is not dead, you know, like you're not dead, you're just changing, and that's okay. So the ego usually likes to keep things stagnant and likes to keep you doing the same thing that you're always doing and never moving forward, even if you really want to. And I'm here to help you figure out when it is that your ego is saying something and when it is that your intuition is saying something, so that you can have the conscious of mind to be like, this is just my ego trying to hold me back because it thinks that, change is bad, and it thinks that if I do something different, I'm no longer going to be, I'm no longer going to exist, and that's not the case. Okay? So we're gonna get into it. And we're also gonna see some advice and how to like move past this. Like how to move around your ego, even though we have to live with it forever. Um so here we're talking about your ego. Basically, when your ego's coming through, you're feeling very confused. You're feeling very self-doubting. You know, you think that you can't do things. You're confused because you're like, I'm not sure if I can even go in that direction because I don't think that I could do it. And it's like you can do whatever you want, really. You just need to put in effort. For the most part. Obviously, if it's like I'm not even gonna go there. You know what I mean. Um, but if there's feelings of self-doubt and things like that, that's your ego trying to get you to just be like, nah, I'm not gonna be good at that. I can't do that. So I'm just gonna stay here. Um, and you can also get very defensive. So like if somebody is like, hey, like I thought you were gonna do blah blah blah. And then you're like, oh my God, like I was gonna get to it, but like actually, like I've just been like really busy because I just had a lot going on and I'm doing, and it's like, whoa, like I was just asking you, you told me that you were gonna, I don't know, become a vendor at one of these markets in the city and I wanted to come support you, but like you haven't done it. So I was just asking, like, hey, did you get a spot or like whatever? And like in the grand scheme of things, you're like, you could have gotten a spot, but you kept allowing yourself to think, I'm not good enough to be a vendor. I don't want to pay $250 to be a vendor because what if I don't make my $250 back? And that's what you've been like confused about. You haven't done it, and then somebody brings it up. Now they struck a nerve, and now you're getting defensive. That's your ego coming through. Okay. But then your intuition, on the other hand, your intuition for you guys is very like cutthroat. As soon as you feel like you're done with something, as soon as you feel like, and I don't know why it's specifically your intuition comes out the most when it's time to change. Like when it's time to just be like, I'm done. Like it doesn't necessarily come out in like a way that's like, oh, go in this direction. No, like I feel like your intuition specifically works to get you to stop something, to close a door so that the universe then has the opportunity to open a new one for you. Your intuition is specific to that for some odd reason. Well, it's not odd. It's just how your intuition works. But it's just very specific to that. So as soon as you feel like there's something that like you need to like just be done with, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, whether it's a job, whatever it is, like you need to be done with it. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt and like if you can't be done with it because of like genuine concerns about things in your life, then obviously you don't just like cut cold turkey with no like plan. Like be logical, obviously, but at least you'll know like, okay, this thing though, if I'm feeling like I need to leave my job, start looking for a new one. You know what I'm saying? Like because here like with the 5 of Pentacles, like he's very just like I dropped my pentacles, I'm done with them, I don't need them anymore, I'm gonna keep walking because I'm ready for change, I'm ready for this victory. And if the thought of cutting something off makes you feel good, makes you feel like okay, I think that that would really help myself in some kind of way, I don't know, it gives you some kind of positive energy, like you're gonna feel lighter or something. That's your intuition. Okay, now that we have that going, um I'm just going to pull a little bit more cards just to get a little bit more information about. Oh, yeah. Like, it's literally like your intuition comes through for you to close the door to open a door to a new world. I love that. I love that so much. And this right here at the top with like the skeletons and it's like yellow and blue and green and it looks like it's like opening. I don't know. It's making me think of like parallel dimensions. And it's like when you make a decision, it changes your, like you like quantum jump or whatever. And like you go to like a different universe where like you made that decision. That's how it feels. Like, I feel like that's how you feel. Like you feel very like, okay, I want to like I want to shift my universe. I want to shift my dimension. I want to shift my reality and like change something so that it opens up a whole new world for me. Oh, I love that. So it's just like very specific. Like it's very much like Your intuition really comes out when it's time to let go of something. It's really good at letting you know when it's time to release so that you can make space for you to have change. Anything else for my pile twos with their intuition versus their ego, how they can tell the difference? Whoa. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know why these cards are falling all over the place, but it drives me crazy. Like, it really does. It really does. Because then I have to, like, struggle to pick them up. I'm sweating. Okay. All these are upright, so this is all about your intuition. You have Santa Muerte. On the floor, you have the Knight of Swords and the Moon. Interesting. I'm not picking those up. So with the Santa Muerte, I mean, I just feel like that's a reiteration because it's just ironic because it's a skeleton, but it's pregnant. And it has the Sith. What is this? Scythe? I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. Um but like from death comes life. And that's literally your intuition. That's how your intuition comes through. When you feel like it's time for death for something, like I said, a situation, a person, whatever, your intuition knows that life is going to come out of it. So that's why that's how you should know to trust it, because you'll know, like, okay, yes, I might lose something right now, but in a little bit I'm gonna gain something. And it's gonna be a positive gain. And I think the moon came out because it it's like a hidden thing for you. You might not know exactly what direction the universe is going to take you in when it's time for you to cut something off or stop doing something, whatever. But the moon is saying that, like, it's supposed to be hidden for a reason. Like, the way that your intuition works is like you have to just, I mean, everybody's intuition is really like you have to trust because we never know what the future holds, right? But like for you specifically, like some people, their intuition might like kind of like give them an idea and like kind of like give them like the outcome of like, okay, this is like, okay, I want this in my life and I that's what I want to manifest. And it's like their intuition is showing them that they want to manifest that because that's the direction that they're supposed to go in. Yours works in kind of like the opposite way. Like it's like you have to get rid of what you have now and then you will see the outcome. So it's kind of like that might be a little more annoying for you because you might be like, well, what the hell? Like, I want to know, like I want the like idea or whatever, like before. So at least I know like what I'm going to get out of it, but you're not supposed to know what you're going to get out of it for some reason. You're supposed to just, you're supposed to just like go with your gut, go with your thoughts because for some reason you can't know what's being created for you. I wonder why. Okay. I don't know. It's like peace for you for some reason. Maybe you like overthink normally. So like you not knowing what's going to happen is better for you because then you don't overthink. Then you don't have self-doubt. Then you don't get confused. It's easier for you to just cut something off because you're not going to be as confused. Because you don't have to think about, okay, well, which direction should I go? The universe will put the direction for you already. The universe will give you the path. They will open the door for you. So you don't really have to do anything. So it's easier for your ego to be like negated because you don't have anything to overthink about. You don't have anything to like doubt yourself about. Interesting. Okay, let's get some more cards. When do you feel like your intuition's coming out? We have divine protection. You are divinely protected. Trust each step of your intuition. I feel like with divine protection, it's making me think of rejection is protection, and that makes perfect sense with you, because I think that your intuition makes you reject things when it's time to be protected from them. So if you feel like, ugh, I need to stop talking to this person because they make me feel like shit, that's your intuition being like, I'm protecting you from this person because you're not supposed to be with this person anymore. This person is not supposed to be in your life anymore. Then we have silent whisper. Listen to the whispers within. Intuition quietly reveals the truth. Yeah, just like with the moon. Everything is hidden. You have to really take the time to listen. It's going to be very quiet. It's not going to just be like out in the open. You have to quite literally pay the fuck attention. And unfortunately, you have to just trust and just move forward and just wait for the result, really. Let's see what else. Okay, and then we have higher vibrations. Keep your vibrations high and your intuition will stay sharp. Okay, so make sure you stay in a high vibration by not engaging in things that are not good for you, which is like bad food, bad music, bad people, things like that. Things that make you don't feel good, things that make you feel shitty in any way, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. Anything that makes you feel shitty, don't do it. Don't interact with it. Then we have inner peace. In moments of peace, intuition speaks the loudest. So you have inner peace talking about speaking the loudest, and then you have silent whisper. You have to be quiet if you want to hear. You must be quiet, child. Sorry, I'm being so weird. Okay, then we have, oh my god, protection through intuition. Your intuition shields you from harm. Oh my gosh, I love a synchronicity. I really do. Divine protection, protection through intuition, inner peace, higher vibrations. Oh wait, I think I said the wrong thing. Inner peace, talking about speaking the loudest. Silent whisper, listen to the whispers within. Like, boom. What did I say? What did I say? That's how you know. Okay, good, good. We love that. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Because a lot of the times I'm just talking and I just pray that y'all agree. But yeah, protection through intuition. So when your intuition is saying like, hey babe, it's time to cut this off, that's because it's protecting you from the harm prior. It's protecting you from the harm prior. The longer you wait to cut these things off that your intuition is telling you to cut off and to hard stop, the harder things are going to be. Trust the warning. It's your intuition gives you the warning ahead of time. Because it gives you the warning ahead of time, that's why you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Like, that's why you don't know what the new path is going to be, because you got to give and take. Like, the universe is balanced. So it's like, because you have the option, as long as you listen, to stop something before it happens, that also means that now you have to go in blind to this new thing. But that's okay, because it's going to be a better new thing, but like, you're just not going to have any information about it. And you just have to trust. For other people, they might know the outcome, but they might not get the warning of, hey, you need to stop doing this right now. Otherwise, you're going to end up in deeper duty, and then it's going to suck for a while before you get to that outcome. You have the opportunity to stop the rock bottom almost before it happens. And it just means that, okay, well, you just can't know what the better outcome is. You'll figure it out when you get there. So the faster you listen to your intuition and the less you let your ego cloud your judgment, and the less you let yourself doubt cloud your judgment, and whatever, and the less you defend the people, the situations that you're in that you know you need to cut off, the faster you let those things go, the easier your life will be. Oh, I love that for you. Let's just get some self-care to see what will help you um, stick to your intuition. Oh my God, all the cards flew on the fucking ground. I'm so sorry. Okay. Look to the stars. You might feel very at peace when you see the stars outside. Go do that. It calms you. Maybe that's the best time for you to listen, when you're just sitting in silence looking up at the sky. Thoughts might cross your mind like louder for you to hear. For you to hear your intuition. Oh, sorry. Okay, aromatherapy. Aromatherapy might help you. Maybe some lavender, some jasmine, um, some frankincense for protection. I'm trying to think of like an aroma that's good for heightening your intuition. I can't think of anything. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really sure. I don't use aromatherapy too often. So maybe like mugwort if they have like a scent, or like an incense. I have mugwort incense, and I use mugwort to help me tap into my psychic abilities a bit more. Blue lotus flower, you know. But yeah, aromatherapy. Look into that. Oh, sex. That's fun. Um, Maybe like tantric sex if you're in a relationship with someone. I'm not really sure what tantric sex is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta do some research, but I've heard of it, and I do think that it's like a form of tapping into your intuition, tapping into your spirituality. Pretty sure. So maybe look into that. Maybe that would help you. Or just doing some kind of like sex ritual with yourself. Doesn't even have to be with another person. That might help you. Okay, then we have create art. Beautiful. So if you're like an artist or something, um, maybe your intuition comes through your art. Maybe when you're holding a paintbrush and looking at a blank canvas, that is when your intuition is the loudest. And then we have make an altar. Okay, so maybe you want to make an altar for yourself. Like just have like a little thing, a little space just for like you know, with like your favorite things on it. Maybe you want to have a picture of you, whatever, and just like, you know, talk to yourself when you want to hear your intuition more. Just like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to talk to my higher self, see where the vibes are at, how I'm feeling, what my intuition is telling me. You know, now is the time to send messages through me. I'm asking, you know, for whatever. You know what I'm saying? That might be nice for you. I've never suggested someone making an altar for themselves, so I feel like that's very specific. So that might really help. Maybe an altar for a deity that you are interested in. Um, Aphrodite, Hecate, your spirit guides. Uh, yeah. But yeah, that's what I have for you, my pile twos. I hope that you got something out of this. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. I love talking to y'all. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post every week, just about. I mean, I haven't posted the past 2 weeks, or the past 2 weeks, sorry. But you know, I usually post every week. I try to. But yeah, I'll see you in the next reading if you want to come back. If not, that's totally fine too. Don't forget you can book readings with me through my Ko-fi. Um, it's in my link tree, top link, and I'll see you in the next reading.